Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of Noctua's latest products. Now, Noctua's, everyone assumes, and with good reason, that instantly start thinking heat sinks and fans. But also when you say Noctua, you generally also start thinking about the colour schemes, and it's always been under great debate from many enthusiast communities about the colour. And you pretty much either love them or hate them. So many people take instant dislike to the fans because of the brown and beige kind of accenting. Now, the problem is recently they decided to kind of mix things up a little bit. And if you've not seen these already, what rock have you been hiding under? Now, I've obviously not got the best colour background for these. But if we were to bring the camera in, now because I'm using the remote, it does take a month of Sundays to zoom in and out, but maybe that will add to the, you know, the suspense and just how these look. Now I am moving them about to try and show you. Now, so, right, there we go. They've brought out the NFP 14S, which is this one, and then we've got the NFS12B, which is this one. Now they do come in a range of speeds, so that you, like for argument's sake, you know, 900, 1200, 1500. There's a range of speeds if you want to just run them straight out of the box at 12 volts, which for some configurations can help a lot. The 140 millimeters, most of them do come in this square, but you can still get one of the round variants. They still have the 140 millimeter mount, but it's kind of round with little bits that tab out on the outsides. Now, the NFP14S is, as you can see, you've got all the kind of notches around the outside for the fans. Now, if you're used to Noctua fans, this will look very familiar, as I'll get it into shot, as will the S12B. Now, the difference between the two blade designs on these is pretty much, this is a static pressure fan. I have to get it straight. This is a static pressure fan, and this is a case airflow fan. Now, something that I love the grey look of these. It's brilliant. The Noctua are trying to have these so that they're slightly cheaper than their normal ones. When you open the boxes, which I've got underneath, you just get a pair of fan screws inside. You've got none of the rubberness around the outside that you may have been used to with the NF14s before. Also with the these ones, you've got they've really cut them back so that they are slightly more accessible price wise. Now, the thing is that for me with Noctua, case fans brilliant. I'm still running Noctua case fans in my server, Epic, which is why we want the slightly different blade design. But one of the things I've noticed, and I think that Noctua have really missed out on, and it's something that they've said to me because I've been emailing them backwards and forwards quite a bit, is where's the NFF12 in grey? And that would be a fan this size with this sort of size blade design. So and then when you think about it, the NFF12 is what they were using on their heat sinks, and it's also the ones that if you're going to buy Noctua fans for water cooling, you buy the NFF12s because they're static pressure fans. And essentially, Noctua have said there's no immediate plans to introduce an NFF12 in grey. Now, I am slightly perplexed by this because most of the shouting about Noctua fans is from people that want to put them on their heat sinks or on the radiators, and they can't necessarily, you know, make the beige and brown work. So I don't understand why we've got 140 SP, but we don't have 120 SP. To me, it's like, you know, if you've got this one, which let's face it, you know, radiators isn't really going to matter that much. Case fans, yeah, okay, there are a lot of 140 millimeter mounts now, so you can have these in front of your hard drives and stuff. But if you're anything like me, then you probably, even if you've got a 140 millimeter mount in the front of your case, you normally end up buying a load of 120s anyway. So yeah, I don't understand why we've got one and not the other. And just to make things even more confusing, what I'm going to do just quickly is I need to lean out of shot. Here we go. Right, and here is another box that they sent me. Now this is one of their server grade ones. Now the server grade, this is a black NFF12, but it's also, and I need to double check this, it's also a 3000 RPM, yet even though it's a server module and we know it's going to make an immense amount of noise, they've still got the anti-vibration mounts on them, which in a server environment is really not going to matter. And it's almost like, okay, so you've got an NFF12, so static pressure fan, 3000 RPM in black. Why couldn't we have had one in 1200 RPM in grey? Now Noctua's response again to me was, yeah, it's fine, Tom, but we've released a lot of new fans. It's a lot of SKUs. So, you know, where these the S12B, I think there's 4 or 5 different SKUs of this. And I just think that personally, could we not have had a 1200 or a 1500 RPM? Probably 1200, I think, would have been perfect. PWM, an FF12, but in grey, maybe, possibly. So I have got a few of these, and over the coming weeks, I may try and get them on to some AIOs, but with a 3000 RPM top speed, 12 volt speed, I'm not expecting these to be quiet. So unless you're deaf or your PC is in a different house, I wouldn't necessarily advise you getting these for that. But for a server grade unit, you're generally not going to give a monkeys about noise anyway. And you know, this is just going to be about sheer all-out performance. And if you think about how well the NFF12s performed before, imagine them going twice as fast. And it could be a crazy amount of performance available there. But obviously, you still only get to a certain level of performance on the AIOs anyway. I mean, I've tried the H100, the original H100 in the past, with some 220 CFM 38mm thick deltas, and they were about, I think it got the temperatures down from what the standard fans were by, it was either 2 or 4 degrees, so not a massive amount. And they were making so much noise that my neighbours thought I had like a hairdryer on continuously. So these wouldn't be the type of thing that I would be telling people to use, even if you sped them right down, because after a certain point they won't start either. But they do weigh a bit, considering that they're fans. Now these, brilliant. I personally, I love this colouring. I really, really do. And you know, props to Noctua for taking this and kind of making that that bold step really to get away from their beigeness and their brownness. And yes, the focus is, well, the zoom is slightly coming out. But I'm still very, very confused why they didn't add that NFF12 in, because of the just sheer amount of extra people that would have bought it. Now, here's my thoughts. When I buy fans, I generally like them all to match, which is why when a certain brand brought the AF and the SP fans out with the little rings around the outside, you could suddenly have what appeared to be an entire matching set, even though they were tuned to do different tasks throughout your entire rig. I gave that brand some grief recently because they brought out AF LED fans and they didn't bring out SP fans. It's pretty much the same with these. I love to have a full-on matching set, and I've got a server build coming up that I did kind of have these penned in for. And for my needs, I could probably get away with having one of these on a heatsink, because it's only going to be a very low wattage affair and it wouldn't really make too much of a difference. But it could be something that we need to look at in the not too distant future to see whether these would be a viable difference to, for argument's sake, let's say the NH D15. If you were to swap the middle one out for this, maybe the outside one out for that, or them both out for these, this wouldn't make too much of a problem. but this might. They've also got some of their downdraft fans and some of their smaller 120mm heat sinks. It might be nice to see how much of a performance impact you get from swapping out to these. So, you know, but then let's face it, if you're going to be paying so much money for a fan like this and then your CPU temps rise, you're not really, you're paying to upgrade. So it becomes very, very complicated. So I really do hope, because, and by really do hope, I really hope that Noctua do, you know, release those NFF12s, because as far as the enthusiasts are concerned, and to be fair, I'm one of you, so if I'm thinking about these problems, I'm pretty sure that many of you guys are as well. But if you I've gotten the wrong way around, but anyway, it evens them out a little bit. If I kind of think of these problems, and I do worry that you lot will as well, and if I was to get these, then I would very much like to have a full set, and them all be you know, working really well as well. So maybe I have made this a little bit too focused on that missing kind of SP120 fan, but it really did confuse me why they did it. Now, like I said, I am going to be using these on projects in and around the office. We could have done some testing, but to be honest with you, I didn't really want to get the NH D15 out, because to be fair, I'm pretty much expecting with the SPs for it to perform the same as it would anyway. Maybe testing this in place of an of an NFF12, that might be a viable thing with the face down cooler, but that would be really that would really be something that I think would require a dedicated video. But please do let me know what you think about the grey fans. Would you be willing to sacrifice a bit of performance to run the S12Bs in place of some other fans maybe? I really don't know, but if nothing else, I actually really like the greyness of these. Now, a lot of walls in my house are grey now, so maybe it's kind of a grey trend that's starting to kick in. I did notice in IKEA that they've now got grey kitchens. I think B&Q do as well. So maybe grey's like the in colour at the moment, but I'm certainly down with it. I really like it. But anyway, let me know what you think about the new Noctua fans. We will be doing some more stuff with them in the not too distant future. You may see these appear on a Overkill 3D video at some point. To be fair, they've just missed out on the filming for the the Crossfire 295X2s, and to be honest with you, they could have made a horrific difference to the temps when you think about it. The rads on the 295X2s, if you'd had even just one of those at 3000 RPM, I might even have to get them back out and have a little bit of a, you know, a temperature test to see how much difference that they can make. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to love you and leave you, because this really was about me trying to get my thoughts out on these. I will be doing some more kind of, oh, they run at, you know, this RPM and they've got this much H2O, you know, static pressure and all that kind of mean fandango dango. But if you are interested, what I'll do is I'll post you a link underneath to go to the Noctua website, which, you know, to be fair, Google can get you there, so that you can look at the full specs and stuff. All in all, we've had a good look. We've had a little bit of a chit chat because we've not done that for ages. But again, don't think this is a completely negative video on Noctua, because I love the grey. I love the fact that they're trying to bring their prices down a little bit and make things more accessible. But at the same time, it's just me trying to air my frustration on the fact that I think that I'd almost have preferred to have had the SP, the static pressure 120mm fan, and then, you know, maybe just a normal airflow 140. I find it a little bit confusing that, you know, they've gone for the static pressure on the 140 when 140mm radiators, you know, the percentage of sales compared to the 120mm radiators is, you know, so much lower. Same with heat sinks. Most heat sinks, air cooling heat sinks, have got 120mm fans. So, you know, in my head, they would have had many more sales of SP120s than maybe they would have had with SP140s. Or maybe the fact that, yeah, I'm not going to go around about it anymore. Let me know what you think. Most importantly, go to the Overclock 3D forums and let us know as well, because we're going to be sparking up a bit of debate on this, because I'm going to be trying to nipple cripple Noctua into speeding up their NFF 12 release, because I've heard that, you know, it could take over a year before we may see some NFF 12s in grey, which I think is quite, upsetting. I don't think that's too much of a harsh word. I think it would have been awesome if we'd seen them. But anyway, what I'm going to do is love you and leave you, and let you guys in the comments just go crazy, either telling me I focus too much on a fan that doesn't even exist, or agreeing with me and saying that you feel slightly let down. But for now at least, Noctua fans that aren't beige and brown, oh my god, did we ever think the day would come. Anyway, it's Tiny Tom Logan with another video for you, with this remote primed and ready, out.